Hello, everybody. It's Godis switching the code, and we are going to talk about Pluto. So let's get into it. We're going to give it some time for people to come in as the notifications come out. I just tried to go live on YouTube about this, and unfortunately, YouTube does not want to block someone who is a stalker, and so I had to shift platforms and do this over here. Nonetheless, we are gonna get this information out to you all. So I might have to repeat myself, but that's okay because I said this all before. Let me just take a sip because I did not get to take a sip before. And I was about maybe 25 minutes in. Yeah, I was about 25 minutes in of sharing information, and it just is what it is. Wholeness, yeah, wholeness. All right. So before I get into Pluto and Aquarius, which is all that I was talking about, we were actually getting into each zodiac sign and the houses. I really wanted to share with you all. I was actually reading for those of you who are live or watching the replay. I did a post earlier, so I'm just going to share what I wrote on that post because it was so good and it pertains to, I'm just looking for the post now. Right. So as of today, Pluto has stationed direct, right? Pluto was retrograde for about 5 months. So what I wrote earlier on Instagram was Pluto stations direct at a very fated 29th degree in the sign of Capricorn at 8:34 Eastern Standard Time, ending a 5-month-long retrograde so that we can finally move forward with these changes that revealed itself to the collective. Shadows revealed, masks dropped, and fated endings that needed to occur for the growth of your soul. Now it is time to cast out those fears and integrate the lessons for you to reclaim your power back fully. With this fated transformation, as we collectively get ready to move forward into Pluto and Aquarius soon after. And so what was so interesting, right, is one of the things I was sharing before I had to end that live was about not taking any baggage with you during Pluto and Aquarius, right? You not being able to. And I was sharing some channel messages in which I will share with you all here, right? But one of the things that Pluto is death, is transformation, it's rebirth, right? Pluto has so many qualities in it, but some of the things that can get triggered from it is obsession as well. And so, being a Capricorn myself and Pluto being stationed direct, like I said, YouTube has not blocked this stalker from me, and I refuse to not be able to get these messages out because I'm going to stay true to my divine alignment, and I'm going to allow myself to continue to grow through the transformations that life has brought to me and not let my fears hold me back, right? So I share that very personal detail because, I could be another person and say, well, I'm not going to do any type of live. I'm not going to do any video. The only thing is that it wasn't letting me actually stop their comments, and it wasn't letting me block them for whatever reason on there. And so it was actually very distracting to get the messages out. And I'm not here to feed the distractions. I have those personal boundaries set in place that honors my love and honors my frequency to be able to be here and do what I came here to fucking do, right? And so I said, you know what? If I have to put the replay on here, go live on Instagram only gives me an hour. Fuck it. It is what it is. I'm going to get these messages out to y'all, right? And so, you know, that's very important to note, because that experience, right, was an experience that, although, and I know I'm please pay attention. You're asking what about Pluto? I'm actually sharing with you, right? Like, although that individual is from my past, that individual has become a stalker, right? Pluto can really trigger shadows. It can really trigger fears to come up. And once upon a time, this individual used to like get me so irate to the point where, you know, there was certain insecurities or things that came up. And because Pluto is going into the sign of Aquarius, this 29th degree in Capricorn is really telling you to close out those cycles. Do not let your fears hold you back. Right? If you are feeling a true, authentic calling to your soul's purpose, hold the vision, hold on and focus on that. Hold on to your soul's growth, right? That's where the lessons are. One of the things that's going to come up during this time too is, you know, and it's a trigger warning, right? Is there may be some impulsive, obsessive disorders or experiences within the next like 30 days or so. So let me give you our dates before I kind of keep going on to these channel messages. Pluto will stay direct in the sign of Capricorn until November 19th. Today is October 11th, so that is a little bit over a month. You have a little bit over a month to clear out those fucking karmic contracts, to clear out the fears, to clear out the negative Nancy's, right? To allow your disciplines to actually guide you forward. And why I said to allow your disciplines to guide you forward, because a lot of the times, let's just face it, we give ourselves a little bit too much grace. And while that's a beautiful thing, because Pluto and Capricorn at 29th degree could really much have someone feeling, you know, very hard on themselves. It can make you feel like you're experiencing some intrusive thoughts, or even experience some suicidal ideations. And so you want to be mindful of that. You want to have a support system ready and available to you during this time. But in the same respects, you want to honor your disciplines, because in honoring your disciplines, you are going to be able to easily move forward with Pluto and Aquarius. And I'll get to that in just a moment, because both Aquarius and Capricorn are ruled by Saturn in traditional astrology. They just operate differently. So, you know, for those of you who, you know, may be feeling depressed at this time, may be feeling hard at yourself, this is the time for a lot of like self-forgiveness. This is the time for going deep into the shadow work, and to finding the roots of why maybe you don't feel enough, like you're good enough, or what restrictions are you putting on yourself that is holding you back, right? What fears are holding you back? Do you have a fear of looking stupid, or do you have a fear of it gotta be perfect, right? What is holding you back from being able to move forward and put out what it is that your soul came here to do? Right? That is what these final, it's like a status correction, if you will, and implementing healthy boundaries, releasing the trauma bonds. Releasing the trauma bonds and allowing yourself to move forward. Why is this important? Because I had already gone live for almost 30 minutes, I know I'm kind of like just fast pacing through some of the information. So I'm going to try to slow down for y'all, right? The 29th degree in any zodiac sign is the final degree before it moves on to the next zodiac sign. And it is the most intense degree. It is amped up. It has the power of all the other degrees in that zodiac sign prior to that, right? And so it's really, really charged up. And Capricorn can be a bit isolating. Capricorn can be a bit restrictive. Capricorn can be a bit like a workaholic even, focus, really just goal oriented. And these are not good or bad. It just is what it is, right? And so Capricorn is about discipline. It's about boundaries. And that's what Pluto and Capricorn at the fated 29th degree wants you to implement those healthy boundaries. And making sure that you are dismantling even the boundaries that was holding you back from you moving forward, but implementing those healthy boundaries where they need to be, because Capricorn energy can be a bit sacrificial as well. Like sometimes we tend to sacrifice ourselves for the betterment of others, although a lot of people may not see it that way. They are also pessimistic. It's cold, it's dry, it seems disconnected to emotions, but they're really in tune with emotions. And so it's just how they navigate through it. So at the 29th degree, because of certain other planets that's in play as well, these things are really important to look at. So I invite you to take these next 30 days or so to not only just do deep shadow work, but also create a self-care, self-love routine and have a support system. Maybe, have your phone with a top 5 of your favorite people to talk to. Create a playlist of your favorite songs that's upbeaty, that's going to bring you confidence, that's going to motivate you, right, for the days that you don't feel disciplined enough to do anything. Remember, Pluto is death, is transformation, it's rebirth. And one of the analogies that I ended up channeling, it wasn't something that I wrote on my notes to actually talk about, but it was a channel message that came through, was about, and I love how this is just all flowing now because I was really having a brain fart moment and like kind of stuttering, right? But it was about, when you plant a seed, I was getting the archetype of agriculture, right? When you plant a seed, right, in the soil, it is best to either plant it with a group of peers or a support system that is already there, or plant those other ones alongside with it to support it, right? And so you might want to plant one seed here in the middle and another plant another seed on the side of it that is going to repel the pests. You want it to support you to repel the pests so that those pests don't come in eating at you as you are growing, eating at your flesh, eating at your energy, stealing your nutrients. And then on the other side, you can plant a seed or have another support system of that which is going to feed into that. That's going to feed you. That's going to provide additional nutrients to your soul, to your growth, to that plant, so that plant can continue to grow until it bears fruit, right? And you are the plant. So the pests that are trying to take your energy and feed onto you, there needs to be an implementation of healthy boundaries to repel to repel those pests so that they are not depleting you of your nutrients, of your abundance, of your prosperity, of your good health, your good wealth, your good fortune. They are not taking from you without proper balance of power and reciprocation, because Pluto is also about power, and Capricorn is about your contracts, right? Your career is in the 10th house. So Pluto in the 10th house is about bringing that changes to your career and your reputation. Capricorn, they are really big on loyalty. They're big on longevity, on generational wealth and generational standings and contracts. And so if this individual is no longer serving and honoring your highest good of your soul's contract with them, you can now rescind that contract. It can null and void and status correct that contract, so that way you are honoring your truth, your soul's authenticity. Okay, I know I'm saying a lot, and I'm saying it very purposefully in this way because Pluto and Aquarius is about authenticity. So with that, the final degrees of Pluto and Capricorn is, how are you going to authenticate your soul's imprint by the ways that you are allowing people access to you or repelling your access, right? And it's not to say that you have to even explain yourself. Pluto and Capricorn reminds us that no is a complete sentence, and you do not need to explain yourself. It does not need an explanation. You just, in respecting yourself, in honoring yourself and implementing that healthy boundary for yourself, and you sticking to the discipline of honoring your healthy boundary, you will find that your baggage becomes light as a feather and you can fly in your authenticity when Pluto is in Aquarius. Because with Pluto in Aquarius, you cannot bring the baggage. So those that are robbing you of your joy, it's not that they're even really robbing. You are giving it away. You are letting them. You are giving that access, right? And so, of course, there's certain times, for example, like me, going live on YouTube, trying to actually, hey guys, it's my first live on YouTube, woohoo, all this shit, try to put it out there. And there are certain things that's beyond my control, right? Because that is not necessarily my platform. However, what I can control is myself. And so sometimes these are things that's going to happen, and it's important, again, that's going to happen with Pluto and Aquarius, that with you having the experience of the growth and the changes and the healthy boundaries that you implement with Pluto and Capricorn, you'll be able to stay on a lighter frequency and stay in your divine alignment and purpose, right? So I know I said a lot. Let me know if y'all are confused, if y'all have any questions. Give me some emojis if you're understanding what I'm saying. If I'm on track, let me know, because I'm saying a lot. I'm going to take a sip of tea and then I'm going to keep going. I am going to break down each of the zodiac signs and their houses as to how this is going to affect each zodiac sign. So definitely keep that in mind. All right. Another channel, but that was for Pluto and Aquarius, so I'll get to that in just a moment, because I had another channeled message. Feel this is direct for me. Divine alignment. Love you. Oh, love you, sis. Yeah, so closing out the chapters. And yes, anyone that is a Capricorn is going to feel this energy amplified, but it does not only mean that this is for those of you that are Capricorn. This is affecting everyone in the collective. So I'm going to start giving y'all some dates. So The reason why I'm talking about Pluto so much is that this truly is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Pluto takes 248 years to rotate over the sun to get through all zodiac signs. And so truly, it is once in a lifetime. The last time that Pluto was in the sign of Aquarius was in 1778 until 1798. Y'all, most of us we weren't even born. Okay, we weren't even born. So this transit, Pluto leaving the sign of Capricorn, is truly the last time we're gonna see Pluto in Capricorn. And we briefly had Pluto enter into the sign of Aquarius on March 23rd and until June 11 of 2023. And so I invite everyone, regardless of your zodiac sign, to go back to your journals, check your videos, feeds, your photos, your emails, check what were you doing at that time. Have a deep reflection, as that was a sneak peek as to how this energy is going to be moving forward, right? Yes, right? Fuck. 248 years, and so a lot of the things that happen, I'm going to share with you, because Pluto in Aquarius is very, very revolutionary and transformative. And we know that we are in a very pivotal space right now, because we talking about Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees and, it being in the 10th house. A lot of people right now are feeling massive need for hustle and go, and also feeling like they want to break free out of the hustle mentality, because again, Capricorn energy can be a bit of a workaholic. And Pluto in Aquarius is saying, how can I work smarter, not harder? I want to buy back my time. I want to allow myself to do what I love, make the money doing what I love, without having to kill myself doing it the traditional way that it has always been done. Right? Yes, it's about thriving. So again, they're both Pluto and Aquarius and Capricorn are both ruled by the sign of Saturn. However, they both operate differently, right? And I feel like personally with Aquarius, it's a bit more lighter, whereas it's a lot more structural and serious in the sign of Capricorn. Not to say that it's not so serious in the sign of Aquarius, but it's a lot more of, I'm finna do me, whether you like it or not. Capricorns, we be like, I'm finna do me, whether we like it or not, but I might sacrifice, some of my time, some of my energy to get this done right for the sake of, the family or something like that, right? So, Capricorn energy is also known to isolate. And so that's one of the things for the next couple of days that you might be. And then we also do have the full moon in Aries coming up too. So Aries is an isolating energy as well. I don't want to make this video about that, but I bring that up to say that there are transits that's happening with Mars and that's happening with Aries that is really going to be bringing us into a space of isolation to really look within and dive deep into those areas to do the shadow work, to release those baggages, to let that shit fucking go for its final hoorah, right? So, ooh, and y'all bear with me. Ooh, all right. So I'm just trying to make sure I get all the messages in because I said a lot with Capricorn. The self-care kit. making sure that you tie up any loose ends, that you're releasing any baggages that's not serving you right now. This is also an invitation for you to look at what goals it is that you've been having for yourself, for your soul's growth, that maybe you were feeling restricted from, that you were afraid of. Maybe just put it in writing and allow yourself the opportunity to see yourself thrive in that and hold the vision. Because Pluto in Aquarius is very revolutionary, and it's very much about authenticity, like I mentioned before. So what happened during the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius? We had the American Revolution War, we had the French Revolution, we had the Irish Uprising, we had the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and we had the Age of Enlightenment. So all these shifts happen to bring a restoration of power, to dismantle social hierarchies, right? It was also bringing like democratic institutions forward, and it was also bringing in like human rights. So there's a lot of history about changes, about transformation that was like completely like going from dinosaur age to like utopia, if you will, right? At those times, right? And that's what we're seeing again, right? Like we're looking at our old devices. I mean, there's people that might consider me dinosaur age, land before time, still making coffee in a sock when there's a Keurig, I don't even know how to say the name, machine or a coffee machine and whatnot. They're like, girl, you know, so it's like different forms of technology, right? One thing that I did mention at the other video that I didn't mention in this one, and I will now, is I would like everyone to listen to their rising sign first, their sun sign second, and their moon sign last, as that is more subjective and internal. And also what I'm about to say, although it's more specific for Aquarius, it is going to apply to everyone. And this was one of the channel messages I got. And then I'm going to share the second channel message that I got during the last live that I attempted to do. And so being that we're now officially talking about Pluto and Aquarius, right? And so for those of you who don't know, the actual dates that Pluto is going to be in Aquarius will be November 19, 2024 until March 8th of 2043. So we are going to have Pluto in Aquarius for quite some time, and shit is about to go wild. Shit is going to hit the fan, y'all. It really is. So this is why it's important to make sure that you are in your disciplines, that you are in your fortitude, that you have those healthy boundaries, and you're not necessarily just moved by the outside world of that which you cannot control, but at least, you know, practice the control within self, right? But also thriving and not sacrificing with that. So one of the things that I got was body transformations. The way that it came to me, I literally saw people's like souls, like literally their body structures just shape-shifting. Their bodies shape-shifting and changing in a way that's more in alignment with their energetic signature, with their soul's imprint. Even if they're not working out, even if they're not doing certain diets or fads or something like that is just something that I was channeling, that I was picking up. And so that was really interesting and kind of cool to see the way that is. Now, I was also getting that, yes, with that, it's going to be very important to listen to your body and what your body is asking for, because how I was getting this too was, and this is going to kind of lead to the second channel message that I had gotten, right? But is chakras. The sound frequency of your chakra system is going to be elevated, heightened, and So really listening to your body and paying attention to the rotation of your chakras. Hi, Sandra, of your chakras, and what is actually going to happen during these ascension symptoms. Remember, when one is ascending, essentially that ascension is a rebirth of a new body, but the death of the old consciousness. And so it can seem chaotic, it can seem like tower moments, it can be fearful, it could even be painful for some of us, right? With Pluto in Capricorn, that's the skeletal body. And so for some of you, it could be some changes and transformations that's going on that you're feeling in your bones in this final hoorah. And then when Pluto in Aquarius occurs, as you allow yourself to be in your light body and heal that structure, that foundation, there could have been things also what I didn't mention that I'm getting now with the structure of the bones. But Pluto and Capricorn, what's going on with your teeth? What's going on with your bones? What's going on with your knees? These are things that you're going to see people go through changes within the next 30 days or so. But of course, it could be different body parts too. It doesn't only have to pertain to those body parts, but I would definitely take more care of your bones, your joints, your skin. For some people, it's not bones or joints. It's, your skin is going to be transforming. You're going to be possibly literally shedding skin, right? And so just really paying attention to that. Pluto also can bring changes when it comes down to divine masculine energies or your connection with your father figures and that type of energy. So you really want to pay attention to that as well. And I know we were moving forward to Pluto and Aquarius. It's just I meant to say these things earlier, and I totally bypassed that, right? And one thing that Pluto and Aquarius is really going to be teaching us is that you can't spiritually bypass shit. All right, you finna be about it. Mass drops, all right? Shadows revealed. So you might as well take this time to integrate and be in your truth and your wholeness, allow yourself in that. And so that could also be part of the changes, like I was saying, seeing with Pluto and Aquarius, having people's skin changing, the body structure changing, that can be a big thing. Also, for some of you, if there's certain parts of your psyche or your chakra systems that have been connected or still holding on to the inverted matrices or even like thought forms or deities, you're really going to be experiencing like some major like shock systems to your chakras and to that part of your psyche. Again, this is why I'm talking about the self-care rituals and having like, your support system, having your friends, your family available to you. Because again, Pluto and Aquarius is about massive it's the collective, right? It's collective consciousness also. It's like super soul, right? Super consciousness, if you will. And so even though Pluto and Capricorn, they kind of just, we hold it down. We don't want to let everybody know how we feeling. We don't want to let everybody see us. We rather suffer in silence type shit, right? Well, with Pluto and Aquarius, they gonna see that, So yeah, super soul. That was a mistake, but it wasn't at the same time right there. It is what it is. All good, Sandra. Love you. So, with that, allowing yourself to get into that space. So what was I talking about? Let me take a sip of water. Okay. So the chakras, those that have been connecting with even like certain deities or certain thought forms, energetics, contracts that were from the inverted matrix, that shock system is actually going to happen to bring a death, a dismantling of that inverted matrix to actually convert you into your proper frequency of your authentic soul's imprint, right? And so it's gonna be almost like a collective new chakra system for a lot of bodies, a lot of souls. In one aspect, right? Because their chakras are going through that massive transformation, that breakthrough. So like quantum leaps and quantum healings in that. And so that could be people losing their jobs. That could be people needing to pivot and move into different locations. I'm going to get to that in just a moment with different zodiac signs of how that could look. However, what I'm also picking up for the collective is, even if for those that's not operating from the inverted matrix, we are going to get an amplification of additional chakra systems. So that is something that's quite, I literally got goosebumps when I said that. Like, this is just a channeled message, y'all. Like, I know I'm doing zodiacs and I'm doing some astrology, and that's not in the astrology book. That's a little bit too woohoo, but like, we woohoo over here. And, you know, by tapping into your true authenticity and into your soul's power and reclaiming your power as a declaration of rights to your divinity and your truth, you know, we already have massive chakras in the body. We have chakras in our aura. We have chakras in our emotions. We have chakras in our mental. We have chakras in our different energetic bodies. And having additional activations or chakra activations or new chakras coming in, it kind of like is like, well, what the fuck does that even mean, right? But that kind of makes sense as to why I was hearing different sound frequencies. And what's going to happen at this time also that we're going to see a lot more of is more light language activation, people speaking their native tongue, not just native to the land here, but native to their soul's DNA of what they're remembering. And so some of it is not necessarily even for translation. It's just for the remembrance and the activations just being within the premises or frequency of each other. And so allowing that energetic exchange, what I'm also seeing, and we're already kind of seeing that, but there's going to be an amplification of like the light languages and stuff like that coming through. There is going to be more light languages that is going to be of collective star systems. You are going to see that, but there are also going to be certain light languages that are not frequently known to the common star systems that we have known, you know, as far as information is concerned. And it's because that is what is engraved in the DNA. And right, that's what I was picking up with that. Another thing that I was getting is, you know, we all have an auric color that is like our main functional color. However, the aura does change depending on your mood, on frequency, on environment, etc., etc. And because of all these activations, Aquarius is also very telepathic, very clairvoyant in that aspect. It's very in tune with all the clairs, right? And in that space. And it's the water barrier, right? Which is where the shape-shifting comes for the equilibrium of liberation to come through so that you are in your true authenticity, right? Bringing the two into one, if you will, right? And allowing it to be, you know, your holy trinity of being, if you will, for creation, for creativity, but bringing you all the way to the divine nine, you know. And, you know, in 2025, we are going to be in the divine nine frequency. So that is also important to pay attention to. But going to the other channel message, it's with the aura, it's not necessarily about the auric color, but the soul chakra itself, wholeness, the soul chakra itself is going to have, this is where you hear people talk about the ori, or their crown, right? And that it has, although we have our own individual energetic signature that is unique to us, like a thumbprint, right? The soul chakra has an energetic course or calling of the God body, if you will, or that collective energy. And so what I was seeing was it was like navigating through the astrals, and having the ability, everybody getting activated to, their clairvoyance, being able to see the color of the soul star chakra of each individual soul, and kind of know what soul group they're operating in, or coming from, and being delivered a task, if you will, and operating and doing that task. I hope that's making sense, because the way that I saw it was not necessarily in a way where everybody's obligated to that, but this is your soul's body, in the different bodies that it chose to kind of recorrect. This is why it's so important with Pluto and Capricorn to not continue with the trauma bonds and not continue with the karmic contracts, but to actually allow yourself to liberate yourself with the truth that was revealed to you. So that way, all versions of your experience, of God's experience, or source's experience of that frequency, y'all are the melody, if you will. It's like certain people are the bass, right? They're 808, and some people are 528. They're operating like a Krishna or something like that, right? Or like in that Christ consciousness, right? Where others may be, very ancient old wisdom of the waters, and some, very fiery fairy like of the fires, and the spirit in the air, and just all the different beings anyway, right? I guess super excited, and I don't want to go too much into that because I got to get into the astrology. Okay. But that was a channel message that I was getting as I was writing down the astrology for this, was seeing that, being able to actually see that and see your soul's group, as far as seeing it when pertaining to certain missions. And I also seen a lot of spiritual activations and initiations happening in the astral realm, in which is going to be non-traditional to the rites of passage of the certain religions that we have known them to be, and which is this is a trigger for a lot of people who have gone through thousands of dollars in practices, time, and I do not discredit anyone's religion. I do not. Each their own. I thank you for participating in your spiritual rites of passage how you need to. But what I am saying and what I am seeing here is a dismantling of those religious constructs into a space that is not limited to those rites of passages, but in the physical, let me correct myself, in the physical aspect of things, but is going to occur in the spiritual. And those of us who have walked that passage or had those activations, you already know what's up, right? It's like the first ancestor that ever got initiated into a certain practice that happened in the spirit realm first before it became physical, and then they taught it to in the physical realm. And so there are gonna be spiritual gurus and teachers out there that is still important to lead the masses. It's still very important to have that experience to help people learn to navigate their abilities, right? But the hierarchy there's gonna be a dismantling of social hierarchy. it's important to remember that during Pluto and Aquarius. And that means that there may be certain deities or certain spirits that are going to communicate to non-initiated people of certain traditions, because it is in their bloodline. It is in their DNA, in their soul's contract. It's not about a man or woman initiating them into a group. Now, it is important for that individual to, you know, be ready for what is to come to them, so they don't get into like a psychosis or something like that, because that is something that we can see, right? So just being mindful of that and wanting to share that, because we these are things that is commonly said, but we're seeing it more and more being said, and it's because of the divine rights of liberation and freedom and purpose, right? Okay, that is also why during Pluto and Aquarius, there's going to be a lot of enlightenment. And this is the time for the leaders to create that revolution, right? So knowing how to pivot in Pluto and Aquarius is Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius in the 10th house, which is the house of careers and the house of reputation. So I mentioned all of that already. I'm going to get into each zodiac sign. So as a collective, Pluto and Aquarius is going to be in the 10th house as a collective, okay? Pluto and Aquarius, how this energy is going to affect you. Aquarius, this is happening in your first house. Everyone, I suggest whether you're Aquarius or not to listen up, because this is pertaining to the collective as well. I mentioned the body changes, and this makes so much sense so I channeled that message prior to even realizing Pluto and Aquarius is going to happen in the first house. So I'm not going to repeat the whole body changes to ya. I already heard that spiel. But what I do want to add, and if somebody could give me the time, because I don't want this to cut off, but what I do want to add is one of the things that I did pick up around March, it was between March and June 11 of 2023 when we were at our sneak peek for Pluto and Aquarius, is how Pluto is also connected to our electrical charge, and Aquarius is Aquarius is connected to our electrical charge, and Pluto to the blood. So, you know, there may be a significant amount of deaths and transformations. And I know this sounds like a trigger, but I would really say take care of your heart at this time. If you're really feeling like you have strong anxiety, and I would advise you to get into some breath work, right? Slow down. I would invite you to, you know, be mindful of your blood pressure and your temperament at this time, because it could be easy for you to get into like a heart attack or a stroke during this period or something like that, because of the activations of Pluto being death and transformation, and Aquarius, you know, operating your plasmic blood system in there. So just really being mindful of that. So just maybe eating more foods that's pertaining to your heart health, maybe doing some more cardio, if you will. But like I mentioned, you know, when you tell yourself, I am happy, I am healthy, really the conversation that is happening for transformation is keeping your heart light as a feather, allowing yourself to be in your truth and your authenticity, and feeling as young as your heart is, and doing what it is that you love is really going to keep your heart light. Okay, this could be an invitation for you to practice some self-forgiveness. If there's anything that you've been holding on to, maybe letting go some of the resentment. If there is any form of hardships that's weighing heavy at your heart, release it. Let it go and allow. This is also Aquarius. If it's not any of those, right? This is a lot of Merkaba activations. This is either you are activating others in the collective as a leader into activating their Merkaba, or you will be receiving an Merkaba activation. Nonetheless, this is your spiritual body through the heart, the chakras. You are going to be transforming into different versions of yourself through your heart's portal, being able to access more realms, more dimensions, more power, if you will, and magnetically attract that to you, which is your heart's desire, and bring it down into the physical foundation of your body for the collective. If you're feeling any body insecurities, if you're not really loving on your body, or you're feeling a little bit of shame, body shame or something like that, I invite you to do some mirror work and really allow yourself to dive deep. And I meant to say, but again, I told everybody to listen to this part, right? Like, I invite you to do that deep shadow work with the mirror. Okay, if you want it to be more intense, you can get a black obsidian mirror. That's going to be very intense, and it can be a bit scary for those that are not, in that space. But one of the things that Pluto and Aquarius says is you got to let go of your fears. Okay, so massive changes to your body. I would also be mindful, Aquarius, of your ankles and your Achilles heel, if you will, right? Really just paying attention to that. Take good care of your body at this time. A lot of y'all might be wanting to change your clothes at this time as well, changing your appearance. Y'all might be cutting your hair. Y'all might be dyeing your hair. Y'all gonna just really start creating a new fashion look for the collective as a whole. And that Aquarius, that is natural to y'all. Y'all known to be the aliens. Y'all known to be the weirdos. Y'all known to be unique and like it in that way. So I'm really looking forward to all the quirks and the kinks coming through. I think it's going to be really exciting and really cool. It kind of reminds me of the movie The Fifth Element, where everybody was just like really dressed up in their extravagant extraness, right? Aquarius, that's really how I see this energy for you in the first house. All right, moving forward, we have Capricorn in the second house. Capricorn, this is going to be a massive change to your finances, to your values, okay? This is going to be a really important time for you to really pay attention to how you were dealing with finances before. What are you investing in? Is your investments paying you back? And doing it again, like I said, not about surviving, but thriving. So how can you work smarter versus harder? How can you allow yourself to get the job done without sacrificing all your time and your money and your attention into that, but still putting in the effort? Right? There's going to be changes to your values. This could also be changes to, your eating. Also, the second house is also, your diet, your food. So you may be feeling changes as to what it is that you desire to eat, how you desire. It's also your beauty, right? So this is also, all your hard work paying off. Okay, so all the hard work that you have initiated, that you have put out there, is really going to bring you that recognition, right? As I mentioned, there's also, it's not just career, but it's also reputation. So people are finally going to give you that recognition to certain degrees, because we are Capricorns and people are going to feel how they're going to feel about us regardless, right? But Cappies, this is really going to be creating that shift of giving you the opportunity to, you know, any money that comes in, utilizing it to transform your experiences in a new, that is honoring your soul's highest and greatest good, and investing in that. And as you are investing in that with perfect love and perfect trust, and creating that foundation of longevity for generational wealth, how you could allow it to pay you back. How are you letting, and not just in a smarter way, in a way that is going to pay you back, but also trusting that what you are investing into is going to pay you back, even if it's through sweat equity or something like that, right? And I really do feel like the sweat equity part is coming with the Pluto in Capricorn at the end of it. And once Pluto is in Aquarius, it's going to be a lot more lighter, right? You're going to see a period of going a little bit like hermit mode, if you will, the need to just like replenish, rejuvenate, allow the transformation, allow yourself to reflect. And then you're going to be allowing yourself to put yourself out there and let the beauty shine from within. Capricorn, this feels like a really good energy to, you know, with you know, just the work that you're putting into. For some of you, if you have been working a career, working in a certain place, and you lose your job or something, this is really an opportunity for you to find a way that is honoring your soul's purpose, that aligns with how you make money, and energetically exchanging in that way that is reciprocated in honor of your values. That is going to be most beneficial to you. Because there's going to be a lot of pivots, a lot of change, and a lot of even learning how to do things a little bit differently, right? Because Capricorn, let's just face it, we are traditional in our ways also, and we may not agree with all these like new technologies and stuff like that. And so we're going to have to learn that from society in a way that is going to actually like, it's going to stretch our money out. We're going to see long money with it, right? So giving yourself the experience to still honor your values, but pivot and allow yourself to be open to transform how you've been doing things, right? All right. Sagittarius, this is energy is happening in your third house. Sagittarius, this is local travels, this is siblings, this is aunts, uncles, this is your neighbors, this is education, right? And so Sagittarius, you could be having a change in any and all of those that I just mentioned there, right? You know, in very dark or harsh terms, it could be, you know, maybe some complications with children, or a transformation or death of a child is a possibility. I don't want to fearmonger or scare anyone. I just have to share with you what these things can like look at. And what I meant to mention also with Aquarius is, you know, some of y'all could be experiencing even like near-death experiences. When Pluto is in the first house, there's a lot of death to the body, but not it could be literal or figuratively, right? So that's also for those with Aquarius, if you're still listening here. But again, moving forward to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, you know, it could be of a child, it could be of an aunt, an uncle, or a neighbor. It doesn't have to be, okay? I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to say that that's what you're going to experience, but I am saying that if you do experience that, know that it is something that is in alignment for your soul's growth, right? But the main thing that I do see here is changes in education and in your neighborhood. So Sagittarius, y'all might be feeling called to change location, and you might be called to move to a place that you're like, I don't even know what's over there, why I'm being called over there, or what it may be. And that's because that is your soul activating you, calling you for an activation to that location. Now, because it is the third house, this could be a place that is temporary. It may not be your forever home, your forever place, and that's something to keep in mind. It can be, but a lot of the times the third house is a little bit more temporary. Okay. And so it could just be certain activations and changes and calling. It could be even within the same state, but maybe a different neighborhood or something like that. This could also be like studying something new, or even being called to be a form of a teacher or leadership in this space. And the live is going to end. This is why I didn't want to do it on Instagram. But I'm going to have to come back. I'm almost done. I'm doing the houses, y'all. So come back and we'll get through the rest of the zodiac sign. Sagittarius, if you're seeing the replay, I had to edit this through because it had timed me out. And so as I was mentioning, Sagittarius, this energy is happening in your third house. So it could be changes of location. This could also be that you are feeling a call to teach others. Maybe you create a curriculum that is for children, right? Maybe you create some sort of like new foundation when it comes down to how you can help children learn information easily, or kind of guide them into a space that is really gonna keep them into learning their soul style. They're more in like unique to them, but still in a way that is usable and realistic and relatable to the collective, right? How they can utilize this information for the long term, but also be easily digestible for them as well. Okay, this could also be maybe you come together and you do some sort of community project with your neighbors, or you start some sort of like massive change in your neighborhood, maybe even like a neighborhood garden or something like that, right? We was talking about the seeds being planted earlier. So this could be something about like starting a community garden, a community project, maybe, doing certain events that's going to really involve your neighbors, or, bringing solutions to them. This could also be maybe, even creating some sort of like, maybe some of you, I don't know why I'm picking this up, but like maybe, martial arts or some form of like defense, some sort of defense techniques that maybe you're going to be teaching children how to defend themselves, or teaching your community do some sort of some defense classes or something like that is something that I'm kind of picking up here. This could also be like short travel. So this could be Sagittarius, y'all just really wanting to explore, places that you haven't been, that's local to you, discovering new places. Maybe you're gonna see your neighborhood like buildings become dismantled, and you're gonna see new buildings, and like by the time the Pluto and Aquarius is over, it's not even gonna look like the same neighborhood. So you're gonna really either have a big part of that or just be witnessing that as well. Okay, Scorpio, this is happening in your fourth house. Scorpio, this could be really you having to take a deep look at your relationship, possibly with your mother. This could be releasing any like self-sabotaging energies when it comes down to like divine feminine or motherly energy, or any type of like fears that need to be released and let go from that space. There could be a lot of advice that's coming through from your mother as well, that's helping you change, that's helping you grow. And so a lot of healing in that area. I also see that this could be a change of location to where you live as well, because the fourth house is the house of the home. And so home is where the heart is. I really do see that maybe you're changing your furniture around. Maybe it's maybe you break your lease and you go to another place, or you extend your lease and you really start making that place that maybe you thought was going to be temporary, you make it a long-term place. Whatever it is, there's going to be massive changes when it comes down to the home. And the way that I see this for y'all, Scorpio, is in a way that is more independent. So if you were really, depending or working with other people, this, I feel like it's a little bit more independent, but in a really nurturing way. I can see you spending more time at home than outside. And so really allowing yourself to create a sanctuary, a safe haven, if you will, in your home. Create peace in your home, harmony in your home. You might as well allow it to be comfortable so that you are thriving in that space, and not really getting into, being in a space that you are suffering or being, torturing yourself at home or something like that. So I do see major changes when it comes to your home environment, Scorpio. All right, Libras, you are in the 5th house. Libra, all right, there's going to be changes in your relationships. There's going to be a lot of inner child healing that's going to be happening for you at this time. I would definitely say pay attention to what children are trying to teach you at this time as well. You may also be setting something up to help children. Maybe, if you're into like yoga or something like that, maybe you do a yoga class for children or something like that, or working with children is something that your career may pivot into, or something nurturing of your inner child as well. Here, I do see a shift happening in your relationships for you to nurture something that is going to be activating to you and your partners at this time. This could be a lot of recognition as well, Libras. You're really going to be recognized at this time for your beauty, for what it is that you share with others. And it's not about people pleasing at all. Remember, we spoke about implementing those healthy boundaries and not bringing the baggage through with this space. But how I'm seeing this energy for y'all is, people really seeing you for the divine light, for your balance, right? And so this could also be that perhaps some of you Libra are creating massive shifts when it comes down to the entertainment industry. Okay, this could be that if it's not you, maybe you have a child that is going to be somewhat of a superstar in the entertainment industry, and that's something that you're gonna like naturally want to protect and stuff like that, right? And so Libras, this energy is very beautiful for you. This is a lot of people are going to be attracted to you at this time as well. And the way that I see this happening for you too is keeping your heart light, being in a lighthearted, more happy kind of space. I do see a lot of clairvoyance, but claircognizance and empathy going on here. There's going to be a lot of shifts when it comes down to learning what it is that like paying attention to what you're entertaining at this time, Libra, right? Like what you're entertaining is going to play a big role as to your what is the word? Why can't I think right now? Give me a moment. your reputation, is concerned. And so just really taking heed of that. It can go either way. But as long as you are with a balanced scale, you know, this is really going to bring a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. I could see a lot of collaborations that even though the collaborations is to support your community and your friends and your loved ones and stuff like that, it's really gonna have you really shining out and like really being like almost the center of attention. And you know, that might bring some people to feel a certain type of way. And this is why it's important about keeping yourself balanced and not focusing so much on people pleasing, but having those healthy boundaries implemented there and honoring your status quo in a sense where it's like, you know, you're not trying to get the attention from everybody, but you're just in your divine light. You're in your love frequency, and this is what's happening here. All right. Because I mentioned about death and transformation, just like I did with certain houses, when it comes down to any house that has, you know, people in it and stuff like that, you know, there may be a possibility that, you know, there might be a lover or a child that transitions during this time, or it could even be an ending of a relationship or some sort of separation, but this is going to bring you to a more liberating space. Overall, I see it on a more positive light, that's bringing, you know, those changes. But if your partner or is not really on the same wavelength of balancing out that scale and being equally receptive to and reciprocating that energy to you, it could be a dismantling of that union for the sake of having your child actually grow up in a space that is more liberating to their soul's growth, and that is honoring the highest and greatest good of all involved. And so it could be something as like, you know, separating in a way that is healthy, where there's still a healthy co-parenting that is happening there. Not necessarily in, you know, where y'all have to bicker and fight with each other and create more trauma. No, fuck the trauma bonds. That shit is done. But I do see a lot more union than I see separation with that. But I do also have to be, give you kind of all aspects of how that can transpire for you. I would say, Libra, if you are a really creative person, tap into your creativity, into your artistry. You will be very fertile at this time. You're going to be popping mad babies at this time too, or like have, success in your career shifts at this time. So this is a really fortunate time for y'all, and the fifth house is a fortunate house as well. So definitely allow yourselves to take advantage of that. Y'all gonna be in that energy for about 20 years. So take that for what it is. All right, moving forward, we got Virgo in the 6th house. Let me take a sip, please. Abundant blessings, sister. Welcome. Virgo, this energy is happening in your 6th house. So because I mentioned this energy is creating a massive shift when it comes down to career and reputation, this can be a big shift when it comes down to your career and your reputation, right? Your everyday daily routines and your work environment, okay? This could be a need to pivot and make some major changes. Maybe, you know, if you work in an environment where, you know, it's just they're doing their daily routines is kind of not really working out for the system, but you have some sort of innovative idea that can help the space, maybe speak up and talk about it and see. This could also be like renegotiating your pay. This could also be that if you leave a job, that you leave for something that's within the alignment of your soul's purpose. This could also be that the sixth house also has to do with your pets. Okay, so Virgo, this could be that maybe you get a new pet, right? This could be that you work in a career that, you know, maybe you shifted from one round to another, and you're all of a sudden now you was working corporate and now you're wanting to be a veterinarian or something like that, right? That's very possible to do that type of pivot, especially because the sixth house is a house of healing as well. And I really do see y'all getting into, you know, the sixth house is also your home. Like, you're really like in this space and you're like, I like to be here, right? And so there could be a dismantling of perfectionism also when it comes to your day-to-day routines. But overall, there's an invitation for you to really pay attention to the animals, your pets. Pay attention to those that's in the same field as you. So even if maybe you don't work a 9 to 5, but maybe you're an entrepreneur or something like that, and there's you know, some sort of advice or information or something that needs to be changed that maybe you've been ignoring, or you know, that is actually going to be conducive to your soul's growth and evolution. That could be something. I also see a lot of shamanic activation. So some of you can be, you know, shamanic healers in that way, and be really, thriving in that way, teaching others how to tap into their, you know, their shaman, into more holistic practices, if you will. Some of you could be nurses and stuff like that as well. I see major changes and pivots that's gonna really be leading the massive to learn how to heal in a way that you know, old traditional constructs were limiting or fighting against. I could also see, you know, some of you Virgos really creating some sort of revolutionary dismantling of those type of constructs with foundation and with solution, not just fighting for the sake of fighting, not just being hard-headed and just being in your passions, but actually creating a solution. So some of you may be creating like a sanctuary. I don't know why. It's almost like Dr. Dolittle. I'm hearing like some of y'all might be actually getting like telepathy with like animals, or know how to speak to animals and be sharing some animal guidance with others, or helping animals transition, or working with animal medicine and helping others tap into that as well in a shamanic way, but also like in a literal way too, like being able to, you know, like channeling like what animals are saying, and actually being accurate, not like being delusional or like imagination type shit, but like as a matter of fact, this is actually what is, type of thing. I'm also seeing like more safe havens and sanctuaries, places that, you know, maybe, you know, in the beginning it could be a lot of hermit mode, a lot of going within to do a lot of healing because of everything that you had gone through, you know, the last few years, and so that, you know, that's gonna lead you to a more liberating space. I really do feel like it's going to be important for you to pay attention to what your day-to-day is actually, like telling you and sharing here. If you are and this is the last thing I have for you, Virgo. If you are working in a work environment, there could be some sort of like power struggle when it comes down to your colleagues, and so there is a mindfulness of that. And so we're going to move into Leo. Leo, you are having this energy happen in the 7th house. Pluto and Aquarius is happening in your 7th house. This is major changes in relationships. This is releasing trauma bonds, healing any trauma bonds. This is allowing you to embrace higher level relationships or even marriage, because the 7th house is marriage and spouse. All right. So you may experience some relationship traumas. Okay. You've really, I know I've been very positive with a lot of them, because I really am seeing these changes and transformation happen for all signs in a more liberating and powerful stance. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with some challenges and changes. So this could be some challenges and changes in your relationships, but if you do all the shadow work and you release those trauma bonds and you allow yourself to not bring the past forward with you, your relationships moving forward can bring a lot of longevity, and this could also bring you success in business, right? So it's not only just happy spouse, happy house type energy, because that is one of the energies, but I see an energy of your contracts being fruitful and successful with the right partner, right? When a lot of successful people are married, and they either, marriage is like a form of a business in itself too. And so, there is that invitation to look at your long-term contracts. The 7th house is also the house of open enemies. And so there could be, some traumas in regards to some sort of like betrayals when it comes down to that as well. Whereas like the 12th house is like the hidden enemies, right? You almost didn't see it coming, but the 7th house is open enemies. So, there is a mindfulness of like, let go of the trauma bonds, because that might be not only a betrayal to self, but something that could lead to your detriment, right? If you know that this is not a relationship or connection that you see yourself long-term in, don't just keep wasting your time in that space, because this is actually going to be extremely harmful for all involved in that space, but especially for you, because you're choosing to be in that contract, essentially. And the 7th house is also contract, so there might be some renegotiations that you're going to be experiencing here. Again, for dismantling that which is taking away your power. With the 7th house, though, how I see this in regards to relationship itself is being with a partner that is equally yoked in power. Not you taking away from their power, not them taking away from your power, but both of you multiplying and contributing to the power together. And what I mean by that is not necessarily all 50-50, dollar for dollar. I'm talking about each one playing their role to balance out, having it equally yoked. And so there may be differences. And if you don't do the trauma healing, if you don't allow yourself to release the past traumas that you had in relationships, your relationships with others in general, you might have a really hard time in all your relationships moving forward for the next couple of years. And this is not just a couple of years. This is a 20-year cycle. So you really want to allow yourself to not bring that baggage with you. Okay, Leo, that will be, one of the best advice I could give you. Another way that this can manifest is that, maybe you never thought of marriage in a certain type of way, and you find yourself getting married, or, some sort of marriage, or, and creating that long term. It could even be, creating a trust fund, or some sort of like sacred, you know, fun and union where there's, you know, the beneficiary and that, you know, those contracts get in place with you and a spouse and a partner. This could also be maybe perhaps creating a joint account or something like that. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but these are things that can occur. Another thing, Leo, with this in the 7th house is that if you're not necessarily having a hard time, you might, if you're in a relationship or you're married, you might find that perhaps your partner is having a hard time with some sort of death, transformation, trauma, or it doesn't necessarily have to be trauma, but it could definitely be, you know, maybe some sort of hardship or something that you're going to be playing a big role in helping them navigate through this at this time, because you see the investment, you see the longevity in this union and just helping them navigate through that. But again, it can go either way, because the 7th house is the house of you and your relationships with other people, especially that of a husband or wife, right? Of your spouse, specifically. For some of you Leos, like I mentioned with some of the other zodiac signs, this could be a death of a loved one that you were married to. So perhaps, you know, becoming a widow. You know, and so my condolences in advance, and I do say this with lots of love, but this death is for you to remember all the good memories and still allow yourself to honor your soul's purpose, and allow yourself to honor that union by honoring your soul's purpose, and not getting so caught up in just the story of what they were in your life, but allowing it to serve a purpose, if you will. Like they now become a big role player in you serving your purpose and moving forward. So not letting it become a detriment to you, but allowing it to be something that allows you to honor your soul's purpose, in a form of gratitude and honoring their existence. And so we're going to move forward to Cancer. Cancer, this energy is happening in your 8th house. This could be Cancer. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if y'all don't fucking let go of the trauma bonds, y'all going to have a hard time. This is also letting go a lot of fears. All right. Y'all may be feeling a very hard time. If you don't let go of fears, you're going to be confronted with a lot of fears at this time. There could be a lot of other people's resources that you're going to be depending on at this time as well. You know, there could be either, you know, some changes when it comes down to that, Cancer. Because, you know, maybe utilizing other resources or reaching out to others, or even you creating other resources for the collective. But the 8th house is also, you know, your magic, your psychic abilities are going to be amplified. And we were talking about all these magical, powerful things that you'll be able to tap into when you are standing in your power of your true authenticity, Cancer. And so, y'all really do, you know, shift y'all moods with the moon, if you will. Y'all have y'all cycles. But, you know, with the 8th house, this is really letting go of any, you know, compulsive disorders, obsessive tendencies, like really looking at how are you self-sabotaging or poisoning yourself in this way, and really allow yourself to really also release any grief, if you will. If you have any grief that's inside of you, know that it's okay to grieve, but also not stay stuck in the emotion. There's also a lot of shadow work that is going to be required of you right now to like really learn how to emotionally regulate at this time. You could be maybe you know, getting a lot of spiritual activations at this time, Cancer, that is either going to lead you to, you know, we were talking about the revolutionary stuff. It could also be that, you know, maybe you do some craft work to help dismantle some of the societal hierarchies, or maybe you create, you know, whether it's a nonprofit or, you know, some sort of other, like, I want to say organization, but that's not the word I want to use. That's just the only word I know right now to use. But some sort of foundation in which is going to be able to have others utilize the magic of that. And I say that in a way that's actually practical, like, you know, practical things that people can utilize. This is also taxes and stuff like that. So there could be a lot of changes when it comes down to that as well. You know, you could be signing up for maybe certain like scholarships or certain petitions in that. And this is also, I would definitely be mindful of your eyes, your vision at this time. And, you know, a shadow side of this energy with Pluto and Aquarius, and you being in the 8th house, is, you know, maybe do a lot of healing work when it comes down to the womb space. If you're a woman, even if you're a man, you know, being mindful of sexually transmitted diseases and sexually transmitted demons. You know, we just gotta say it. We gotta put it out there, you know, because y'all may be really highly susceptible to these type of things right now. And so being mindful of that, making sure you're asking the right questions. And for some of you, this is just y'all really exploring some really deep kinky sides, you know what I mean, BDSM type stuff, and it's all good. It's not, you know, it is what it is, you know. But just, I would say, making sure that you are doing what you need to do to stay healthy and do so responsibly, right? You know, I do see a lot of sex magic also that could be utilized for y'all, Cancer. That would be rapid manifestations with that. And again, that doesn't have to be done with a partner per se. You can definitely do that for yourself. But definitely getting into, you know, some more spiritual practices is what I'm really tapping into for this energy for you, Cancer. So moving forward, we have Gemini. Gemini, this energy is happening in the 9th house. Gemini, you may be feeling strongly called to either move out the country or just travel out the country. You might really be feeling called to dismantle a lot of the society, you know, traditional way of thinking with some philosophy or some higher thinking. You might, you know, you might have a shift of perspective. You might have a lot of expansive thinking, opening up your mind when it comes down to, you know, what is beyond the practical, what is beyond scientific, right? And really stretching your mind. So opening your mind in that way. This could also be astral travel. You might find yourself having certain outer bodies experience and astral traveling to different dimensions, different realms, different places in the world. I do, excuse me. I do also see a big shift in faith, where perhaps there may be some death that occurs close to you, or some sort of transformation that is going to require you to really tap into your faith, to have faith in yourself, to really gain trust in yourself. This could also be, you know, maybe maybe you lean into some religion or you let go of some religion. But nonetheless, this is really about you having faith in yourself and having faith in a higher, source and a higher power to reclaim your power back in the areas in which you felt like, you know, something was taken away from you, or there was a death or transformation and stuff like that. So I could see you going through that major shift in that as well, Gemini. For some of you, this could be like maybe y'all feel like y'all going back to church, or some of y'all, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but definitely getting into some sort of faithful devotion is kind of what I'm seeing here. For some of you, this could also be creating like this could either be like a nonprofit or a ministry of some sort. You know, allowing yourself to create a ministry that is in alignment with the soul's purpose, as opposed to the social constructs that was traditional to society before these shifts. This could also be like, you know, experiencing some news about, you know, events that's happening. We, you know, let's just face it, there's a lot of genocides and wars that's happening overseas in different areas, and this could be really impacting you at this time, or you may be feeling like called to create some sort of group, revolutionary group, to create a massive shift and changes when it comes down to exposing that which is happening overseas. That is something that I could see some Geminis doing, as well as like bringing the information to the masses when it comes down to that. And not just bringing the information, but actually having some sort of solution with it to create a foundation. That, for some of you Geminis, y'all might actually even be creating what is that called? Like a refugee or something like that is kind of what I'm hearing. That might be something that some of you may do. Some of y'all may be traveling to other countries to help build homes in these other countries. Or to provide resources in these other countries, or just to even learn from other countries. Maybe you just, you know, I'm getting like eat, love, pray. I think that's how it's said, or something like that. Like, yeah, might be feeling called to do that type of journey for yourself, Gemini. So take what resonates, you know. And then we're gonna move forward to Taurus. Taurus, this energy is happening in your 10th house. So the 10th house is the house of career. It's the house of longevity. It's the house of reputations, you know. And just like I mentioned, for, you know, with the whole collective of a Pluto and Aquarius happening in the 10th house as an overall energy, this energy is going to be impacting you a lot, Taurus. So you may have massive changes when it comes down to your career. This could be a dismantling of your career, or this could be needing to pivot. This could be a lot of new opportunities and possibilities that's going to occur for you in this career. You know, on the positive side, this could be like promotions that occur in your career, or new programs or new departments in your, you know, in your career, in your field, that brings more opportunity. This could also be the opposite, right? Where for some of you it's like maybe you lose your job or something, and you're being called to pivot into a new foundation that is in alignment with your soul's calling, because perhaps the career that you were in was not in alignment with your soul's purpose and your soul's authenticity, and so you were having to pivot from that space. This could be that perhaps the career that you are in is experiencing a lot of strikes at the time, because this is a lot of like revolutionary energy and stuff like that. You could be experiencing some strikes. You could be experiencing certain delays in your career. There could even be like certain outages or technology shifts and changes in your career. This could definitely be like massive shifts of because we were talking about like the revolution and the industrial revolution during Pluto and Aquarius, and so there could be a lot of people losing their jobs at this time, and needing to pivot into a new industry, or find new ways to create work and stuff like that. So you're gonna have to be a lot really in tune with your intuition when it comes down to this energy here, and not allow yourself to be so stubborn that you're immovable. Yes, be true to yourself and be immovable to your soul's purpose. However, allow yourself to be flexible enough to make the changes that you need to make when it comes down to certain possibilities and opportunities that may be presenting itself to you, Taurus. And I say that because y'all are known to be stubborn sometimes. Nonetheless, this could be a financial shift for y'all for the better as well. But it could really go either way, because again, Pluto is death, is transformation, it's a massive shift. All right. Aries, this energy is happening in your 11th house. This could be massive changes to your friendships. I'm going to tell you right now, Aries, a lot of y'all tend to want to be to yourself anyways, but there's going to be a lot of aspirations and a lot of influential direction of energy that's leading you to like not be so self-centered, but allow yourself to give people opportunities. And that's gonna come with you having to done a lot of shadow work and releasing the trauma bonds, releasing the hold that you have of other people, and allowing yourself to be open to connections, to connecting with other people, right? That is in alignment with your current self. And because it's the 11th house, there's going to be a lot of angelic downloads that you're going to be experiencing, because the 11th house is not just a house of friends, but it's also connected to your angelic team. So connecting with the angels of benevolence to help you navigate into healthy, meaningful connections with others. You may also be getting a lot of angelic activations, or commanding a lot of angels to do certain work for the collective, that is to initiate others into certain portals or certain like groups. I know, and it's that sounds a little bit different than others, but Aries, are the initiator as well. This could also be a lot of channeled messages that's coming through from the angelic realm for you. But nonetheless, this is a lot of changes when it comes down to your environment too, and when it comes down to the collective. So you might be feeling called to initiate some, environmental projects where maybe you gather a group of friends or peers or people in the collective to maybe clean up the beach, or you create some sort of solution when it comes down to like recycling, or when it comes down to creating, maybe you creating some sort of work environment that is completely different than society actually knows, that you are being able to provide resources, and in that, like, meeting of the minds is how I'm seeing it, right? Like, meeting of the minds is not just you, it's you and your friends, you and your peers. So you're going to be getting a lot of collective downloads. And you're going to be sharing it with the collective. So allowing yourself to be aligned with that and not be afraid to have those healthy, meaningful connections. Right? Because Aries, let's just face it, a lot of the times y'all say y'all want that, but y'all are another stubborn group of people. Y'all really just want things y'all way, and that's it. Y'all be ready to fight everybody, and this is about really learning to make peace and harmonize with others as well. So this could be very uncomfortable for y'all to really learn, and it's not about people pleasing either. That's not what it's about. It's about really embracing your connections in a way that is not so selfish, but that is still honoring thyself. Okay? So, there could be a lot of changes when it comes down to that. Maybe you lose a lot of friends, people that you thought were going to be friends, for the long term, or certain connections, only to find yourself connected to like a new group of people or something like that. All right. And definitely utilizing this energy to not just be a leader, but a leader that is connected, like, again, meeting of the minds, creating some sort of group activities that is going to bring some sort of environmental solutions to the collective. Okay. Maybe this is, you and a group of friends, create some sort of like potluck and y'all each bring like healthy foods to this event, and y'all are, talking to the masses or something like that, or creating some sort of sanctuary that others can connect with, that is beneficial to the environment. All right. And so last but not least, Pisces, this energy is happening in the 12th house. Whoo, Pisces, this energy is going to feel a little bit blindsided for you, because the 12th house is the house of like hidden enemies. It's also hospitals. It's also the subconscious mind. So on a positive note, there's a lot of psychic activity going on, a lot of clairvoyance, a lot of clear telepathy, just a lot of spiritual activations. However, this is going to be a little bit difficult for y'all at this time. This is going to come with a lot of like hidden agendas, so it's really going to require you to do the shadow work and trusting yourself. If you can trust yourself, then you can trust your discernment to know, to trust someone else, right? Essentially, if you trust yourself, then the people you have around you are people that you can trust, because you chose them to have around you and you can trust them. But because this energy is a little bit blindsided, there could be some sort of betrayals or sickness, things that make you sick or something, some sort of hidden situation that can lead to a really hard time, almost feeling like a dark night of the soul kind of energy. At the same token, this could give you the motivation to find the hidden treasure, right? And really, like, you come in like a hidden force. And so it's a really powerful energy to declare and reclaim your power back, but it is a little bit difficult compared to everybody else's house right now, just because this is really that Phoenix rising position. The death and transformation to really, it's going to require, I would say, if you did some hypnosis work, that would be great. On the shadow side, it might feel like some psychological warfare, spiritual warfare in that space. Definitely pay attention to your dreams. You might be doing a lot of astral travel, lucid dreaming. That's all in the positive. That's great. You could be doing a lot of like psychic defense classes in the astral realm, or creating some sort of spiritual protection around you and stuff like that. This is in that aspect is very, very beautiful. On the shadow aspect is that there's some hidden parts to it that is going to be very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And y'all also want to make sure that maybe you don't bring your addictions forward with this, because the 12th house, Pisces, can lead you to certain addictions, especially because Pluto and Aquarius is going to want to have fun, right? So one thing I would say with this is, like, if you go to a party or something like that, and you leave, you put your drink down, maybe don't even drink your drink after, because you don't know if somebody put something in your drink. And again, this is not for fear mongering. This is just to bring some awareness so that you can know more or less how you want to operate with this energy. All right. Overall, though, I do feel like, this is an energy for you to really get into uncovering dormant abilities that you had. Those are the hidden treasures, right? Like really tapping into your spirituality for confidence. And in that there could be so much that manifests rapidly for you. And I really like that for you as well. There may be certain secrets that either get revealed to you, or you might be finding yourself keeping some secrets from others. That's also another thing that can happen. Or somebody can be keeping a secret from you, and that's the part where it's like the hidden enemy, where it could be someone close to you is keeping a secret from you, and that can be a little bit tough to navigate through. So definitely, because Pluto and Aquarius is going to unveil the mask, is going to bring a lot of revelations. Do not ignore what is being shown to you, because it's like, sometimes we let love blind us, or we let certain experiences blind us because we're like, no, we can't be them, or stuff like that. And so I affirm that that which is hidden be revealed to you, that you need to see, so that you are able to really transform this energy into energy that's honoring your highest and greatest good, and let it be an energy that reveals enlightenment onto your soul. And so a lot of this is also you connecting with your subconscious mind. And like I said, if you do some sort of hypnosis, this could be some hidden information that you didn't know that was going to be conducive to your soul's evolution. So I would recommend even, maybe getting some sort of hypnosis during this time, and from a very trustworthy individual, because that's a very deep process. But this could be something that helps you uncover some hidden parts of yourself that maybe, there was some traumas or some fears or things that was holding you back and hindering you, that excuse me. Oh. Excuse me, y'all. I have to go. But Yes, some hidden energies that could be unlocking itself for you, that is going to allow you to thrive and see your highest version of yourself. But again, this is going to be a death transformation to yourself. So this is, you know, going through the journey of your shadows and really allowing yourself to navigate that and release any addictions or attachments that's there. That's not serving your highest and greatest good. But also letting go of any self-sabotaging tendencies. All right, y'all. So I'm going to have to let y'all go. I'm really like, I can't be sitting this long at this time. My body is going through massive transformations as well, and I'm going through a healing process. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have stood this long. And for those of you that's watching the replay, thank you so much. I honor you. Until next time, peace, love, and wholeness.